Hello, my name is Olivia Darley, and I am a student physical therapist at Thomas Jefferson University, and I'm here to talk to you about your home exercise program for your baby with torticollis. If your baby has limited right rotation, which is looking to their right, and they prefer to look to their left, the one thing you can do is work on stretching that at home. So one way to do that is with the cuddle stretch. So you take your baby and you place them so that they are facing your chest. You want them to look to their right in this position. So you want to place toys or anything to draw their attention that way. And now you can do this standing, but seated can allow you to get a little better stretch and allow you to use both hands. So you just rest your baby on your lap. And once they're looking to their right, support them against your chest. Now, once they're in this position, you'll use one hand at their shoulders to prevent them from lifting their shoulder or turning their body. You want them just turning their head. Then you take the other hand, you just gently apply pressure to help turn their head a little more. So I'm going to turn my hand so you can see, just gently applying pressure to turn their head more. Now, with babies, they can look past their shoulder. That is totally normal range of motion. So you can compare to the other side if you're concerned about how far to push. But if your baby has tightness, they may not get that far. And you want to hold this position for at least 30 seconds. Now, if your baby can't tolerate the additional pressure, you can start by just supporting them against your chest, having them look that way without the added pressure at the head. But that would be something you want to add when they can tolerate it. Now, this is also a good position to encourage naps in if you do contact naps. So just trying to get your baby into a comfortable position against you looking to their right. And once the baby is asleep, you may even be able to get a little more of a stretch in. But that is one way to stretch into right rotation. So another way to stretch your baby into right rotation is by placing them flat on their back. This can be on the floor or a mat. And again, putting toys on their right side so that they look to their right. And once their attention is to the right, you simply stabilize at their left shoulder to prevent them from lifting and rolling. And then apply a gentle pressure to the side of their head to increase the amount that they are looking. You want to avoid pushing down on the jaw or too hard on the ear. You just want a gentle hand on the side of their head. You again hold for about 30 seconds. Some children may tolerate this, some may prefer to be held for this stretch. So it is based on your child. So if your baby has a right head tilt, it means that their right ear is towards their right shoulder, and that is kind of the resting position of your baby's head. One reason that could happen is because of tightness in some neck muscles on the right side of your baby's neck that is keeping their head tilted towards the right. So you want to try and stretch those muscles by pushing the baby's head to be tilted towards the left. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your baby and you're going to tilt their body so that they are leaning towards their right side. You're going to take your left hand, you're going to hook it through your baby's legs and go up and grab onto your baby's shoulder, letting their body rest on your forearm. You're going to pin their shoulder with that left hand so that they can't shrug their shoulder up. You want to keep it down. And then you're going to take your right hand and very gently apply pressure to the side of your baby's head, being mindful of their ear, and push their head so that their left ear is going towards their left shoulder. Now you want to try and hold this position for 30 seconds roughly, and you want to go until you feel slight resistance, and that's where you'll hold. Now, some babies tolerate this position better than others. Some may be very fussy with this. It does tend to get better as the baby gets more exposure to stretching. But if your baby can't tolerate this position, you can also relax your hold and just have the baby resting their head on your forearm while still holding their shoulder with the other hand, and just apply a lighter stretch to the side. Babies can also sleep in this position if it is comfortable enough for them and you do contact naps. This is another position you can have them do a contact nap in to help get a slight stretch while they're napping. But that is one way to help decrease the tightness of the right side of their neck. Another way to stretch your baby into left side bend if they have a right tilt is by placing your baby flat on their back on the floor or on a mat And then you will use your left hand to pin their right shoulder down. So again, it's to prevent them from shrugging their shoulder up. And then you'll use your right hand to gently guide their head so their left ear is going towards their left shoulder. Again, pinning their right shoulder to prevent them from shrugging it up. You'll go till you feel resistance, and then you will hold for about 30 seconds. And that is another way you can stretch to help with a right head tilt. So in addition to stretching them to the right, you want to also encourage your child to actively look to the right throughout the day, especially if they prefer to look to the left. So one way you can do that is putting your child in sitting. Now, depending on their sitting balance, you can either leave them sitting on the floor by themselves or on your lap, more supported if they need more assistance to sit. And you want to hold their shoulders, mostly their left shoulder, to prevent them from turning their body when you're encouraging them to look. You want them just turning their head. So you hold their body, and then you take a high value toy and you put it in their view, and you gradually turn it to the right to encourage the child to follow the toy and look to the right. Now, once you get to where the child can't turn any farther, you want to hold the toy there to encourage them to keep their head as turned as possible for a few seconds. If they can hold it for 10 seconds or longer, that's great. Not every child will be able to hold it that long. Some will just be able to look and then pop right back because of the tightness in their neck and the decreased strength in their neck. So it's something you can keep working on to encourage them to continue looking to the right and holding that actively, again, wanting to make sure they're not turning their body, just turning their neck. Now you can do this in sitting. If you have an older child who likes to stand, you can do it in standing. Again, just making sure you're holding their body and not letting their body turn. If you have a younger child, you can lay them down and place toys to their right so that they are looking to their right. It's a good thing to do when the baby's in tummy time or laying on their back. Just put their toys on their right side so that they are looking to the right throughout the day. For your baby with a right head tilt, you can also work on strengthening the left side of their neck. So the way to do this is you'll put them into a weight shift position. So you can have the baby sitting on your lap, or you can do this standing. And you're just going to tilt the baby so that their body is leaning to the right side. You can support under their arm. And you want them lifting their head towards the left. So you want the baby looking forward. So place toys in front or go in front of a mirror, something to get the child to look forward. And then you want to make sure that their left ear is lifting towards their left shoulder and they're not resting their head on their right shoulder. And you want to hold this for around 30 seconds. You could do shorter or longer depending on your child's ability to hold their head up. And then you can give them a break by going back straight and then go back into it. But this is a good way for them to strengthen the left side of their neck, which may help them hold their head in a more central position and not have them tilting to the right.